Just 30 days ago, Adam Hughes had Popkill #3 heating up the charts. 60 days back, it was all about that Mary Jane Venom Swimsuit cover fresh out of C2E2. And 90 days ago, Berserker shot back to the top thanks to big media news. But here's the real question. Where are they now? Did the hype hold? And is it time to scoop them up while they're cooling off? Let's break it all down in this week's 30, 60, 90 Look Back. It's time for 30, 60, 90 Look Back. This is the part of the show where we look at comic books that were hot through the Cover Price channel and really just see which is the top book that was hot 30 days ago, 60 days ago, and 90 days ago. As you could see here, they like the ladies, Shane. They like the ladies.
Yep, they sell.
They sell, right? Even you know, that Berserker cover is probably walking towards the ladies. That's what I think.
If you hold that cover, you'll get more ladies.
You look at the other side and you just say, "Hey," you know. But we have here some really outstanding covers. You know, one by Adam Hughes, the other one done by John Tyler Christopher or John Christopher Tyler. One of those names. When we get there, we'll know. But immediate thoughts.
Oh yeah, I like all three. The Berserker one, I think, is a great story. They haven't done a book for a while, which is strange, but because they were doing some one shots. Popkill, I really like to read. Some people aren't digging it, but I think it's super fun. I really like it. And you know, Mary Jane Venom, sure.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that Mary Jane a little later because there is something that's happening pretty soon. But let's start off with the first book that was hot 30 days ago, and that is Popkill #3. This is the Adam Hughes variant. This book came out in 2025 from Mad Cave Studios. When it was hot was May 12th, week 2 of May, and it had a top weekly sale of $17 near mint. Weekly units sold of 58 units, and the raws were going for $14, while the graded copies, which really were pre-sold graded copies, $60. As of today, the book is going for about $8 near mint, so it has dropped significantly from a month ago. There's 36 sales. The book is roughly at $8 raw. And that graded copy that we talked about, which is $60, which is the last high known sale of this book, which was April 24th at a 9.8, that's going for $60. However, I checked the census and they don't have any recordings yet of the book. So that would mean that those are pre-sales for 9.8s and they just haven't come in yet. But let's talk a little bit about this Adam Hughes variant, because whenever Adam Hughes drops something, people grab it. And that happened here.
Yeah, definitely. And you can tell that by the sales for sure. And the same thing is happening with this book, I think, because there's a little bit of diamond scarcity going on with Mad Cave right now. I know that my shop has a really hard time getting Mad Cave books. Like, they're very sporadic. You hardly ever see them. So there's, you know, that sense of like that FOMO sense where it's like, oh, everybody's talking about Popkill, but I can't get it. I got to go buy it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened with this.
Yeah. But is everybody talking about Popkill because of the covers?
Yeah.
Because that's what's been selling. Like,
That's
you've been reading the book, but most people don't buy Popkill because they want to read it. Most people buy Popkill because those covers have been very risque. Yeah. We're looking at one right now. This is not even as risque as the other ones. Still risque, but not as much as the other ones.
Well, and that's the thing, right? It's like, look at a series like Rogue and the Savage Land. That series they sold that as, well, we're going to have, you know, great covers. Oh, okay. So who's doing the story?
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's part of the problem that we're dealing with comic books in general, that people are buying comic books solely because of covers. I openly admit I do cover buys as well because it's cover buys. You know, certain covers, you just love that artist. You want to support that artist. but I personally like to support the guy that's doing the interiors as well. And there's a lot of people out there that are just buying these covers. They're jacking up the price of the books, and within time, they usually drop, just like we see right now. Adam Hughes is one of those guys, like I said before. Once he does something, people will go buy it. But then when we look at it in the long run, was it worth that investment at that time? And based on what we're looking at right now, the answer is no.
Yeah, Adam Hughes is one of those artists that obviously has a long career, but also has a few books that they hit and hit really well, like value wise. And so people, I think, they hear the name Hughes. It's a great cover. Let's not take that away from it.
I won't take away his art style. It's
Yeah, it's really good. But there's always the people that are gambling. They're like, maybe this is going to be one of those ones that I'm going to be able to flip for like $300 in 2 weeks or whatever it is. And I think that happens quite a bit too when you get a big name like him.
Yeah, and this was an open order book, so it wasn't like a ratio or anything like that. It was on the stands. I think it's cover C or B is one of those two, and it's a pop kill again. Like I mentioned before, it's a little risque. Let's not forget about that hot dog that she's holding right now. What it's really supposed to mean,
Yeah.
but the true and it says goes with footlongs. You get my point here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, it's one of those situations where a company like Mad Cave, they just commission Adam to do a cover. He does the cover. They tell him what they would like the cover to be like. He does the work and he gets paid for it. All great. Um, but a book like this, it's a cool cover in that sense that it is an Adam Hughes, but it again, there's no meat to that bone, and that's where we see these sales happen, where you immediately get a book that's at $17 when it comes out, drop right back to $8. A
Yeah.
little bit
Exactly.
more than cover price, but it's an $8 book, guys.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at our next book. Our next book kind of dealt with the same situation, but this one's a little different here, and that's All New Venom #5. This is the John Tyler Christopher. I was right the first time. John Tyler Christopher C2E2 MJ negative space variant. This book came out in 2025 at C2E2 from Marvel Comics. On April 14th, when it debuted, the book sold for a top sale of $120 near mint, and it sold 123 copies that week. Raws were going for $136, while the graded copies, there was no graded copies at the time. So when it came out, it was just a comic book. As of today, though, the book is going for $65. That was the last recorded sale of the book, which the raws are at $98 right now. That's the fair market value. However, the graded copies have come in and they've averaged out at $250 for 9.8, which happens to be the highest known value of this book that sold in May 17th, with 63 sales within that 60-day period. Keep in mind, this is a limited book, so there's limited number count, so there's not as many copies of them because it was a C2E2 exclusive. However, there's already 174 copies of this book in the census.
Yeah. And this is one that, it's coming down a little bit. So we're getting to the zone where, you know, I can maybe start to look for it on eBay, or if I
Mhm.
saw it at a store, which, with the limited print run like this, it's very unlikely you're going to have to go eBay, or you'll probably see a few at Heroes Con, I would imagine.
It's a possibility, but this he also said he went out on a record and said that there's going to be some more copies available, some second printings of this book, as well as the red and blue costume variant of the same image. So that may cause this book to get a little uptick, but it also makes the rarity of this book drop a little bit. Kind of
Right.
the same thing with the Vampirella Will Jack cover that came out in New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Now that we're having different renditions of the same image, does that drop the value of the original?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
sometimes it does.
Well, I can tell you right now that for me, I don't care about having this one. I would for the right price, but if I can get like a cover price reprint
Hmm.
that they release for like an all new Venom #6, but they use this image,
Yeah.
that's all I need. I'll take it.
Hmm. So we'll see what happens. If will the price continue to drop? I think 65 seems to be fair. to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
think it's sold for $30, $30 or $40 at the con, because that's usually what they sell in the con.
Yeah.
Um, so double the price. It's still worth it. I don't think this price was going to go up anymore, especially now that the Venom Mary Jane hype is cooled down and people got sick and tired of it, like myself
Yeah.
included.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's it. All right. Our last book in our list was hot 90 days ago, and that was Berserker #1. This book came out in 2021 from Boom Studios. March 10th was when it was #1. It had a top weekly sale of $100 and 9.8, with 40 units being sold that week. The raws were going for measly $4, and the graded copies were going to $70 and 9.8. As of today, half of that price for a 9.8 was sold. 45 sales were done, but within that 90-day period. And again, it got chopped in half, $2 for the near mint raws, which is like less than cover price, and $51 for a 9.8 at the graded copy. The highest known value of this book is $175 at a 9.8, and that was April 7th of 2023. The census count is very high. Last time we saw this was at 2,400. It has gone up. They added an extra 100 with 2,504 copies of this book. There's a lot of copies of this book. This has a very high print run, thus the $2 price tag.
Yeah. And I mean, I would pick this up. Like at the con I was just at, they had a deal on for 3 slabs for $60, and they
Oh,
were
wow.
9/8, and that's Canadian too.
Yeah.
So I would pick this up in a 9/8 if I saw it out like for 40 or $50, because for me that's just over cover cost. It's worth it because I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about sending it and does it get a 9/8 and all that stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think once we get actual solid news about this becoming a picture, then you'll see a little increase in sales. But with the high print run that it has, it's just a book to say you have. I don't think the book, this one, cover A, is really worth anything. The ones that are really worth something are those special rare editions that are out there. Those are the ones people are really hunting for when they're not hunting for this one. This is good to have just to say you have it. You can read it. You could comb through it. Um, but this ain't going to put your kids through college.
No, definitely not.
All right.
Fun read though.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it, guys. We hope you like this channel. Like the video. Make sure you subscribe, and please leave a comment. When you leave a comment, it really helps the channel out. You have no idea how much that really does help. Tell me which books you like. Which books are you part of your collection? Which ones of these books are you planning to hunt out? Do you think they're worth it? Do you think the price is worth it now? Do you think they should go up in value? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, we'll see you at the IzzyVerse. And until next time, Excelsior. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more comic content. Check out these other videos for even more insight, and I'll see you at the next one. Excelsior.